Hello. As you can see, I'm currently tightening up my crank because it's come undone. Because I'm a terrible mechanic. And we are on a group ride right now with 64, I think, other people. It's nuts. So let's go and catch them up, Joey.
But before we catch those guys up, let me catch you up on the stAyTB. For people that don't know, I recently, a few videos back, put together, quite a few videos back now actually, but I put together the very first ATB frame from stAyr Cycles. It is essentially it's an ATB frame. Steel tubing, retro kind of styling, but it's got all the mod cons of all the modern bikes are out there at the moment, and it is something to look at. If you haven't seen that build video, I do suggest you go and watch it. It was one of my most successful videos to date. Everybody loves watching it, and it's linked like there, maybe, somewhere. Before we take it on our group ride, I thought I should update you with the actual bike itself. I've changed a couple of things, and a couple of things I still am yet to change. So before I tell you about those things, let's go have a little look at it. So there's only a couple of things that have actually changed on the stAyTB since you've last seen it in the build. Number one being the saddle. So if you are one of my followers or subscribers for a while, you know full well my favourite saddle is a charged spoon. And I've tried a bunch over the years, but I always end up using the charged spoon again. I have recently started using a gusset saddle, which I forget which model it is, but it looks and feels pretty much identical to a charged spoon, but it is still, you know, it's still the same thing. But the one thing I've never really tried is a Brooks saddle, and people talk about Brooks saddles like they are absolute, like the best thing that's ever happened when it comes to cycling. I mean, they don't, but you know what I'm getting at. So when they said to stAyr, do you want a couple of saddles for your new bikes? I said, I'll try one, and yeah, they're really good. So mine's the Cambion version in orange, C17 if that means anything to you. I know the different widths and stuff like that. I quite like the way this one fills my butt, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, it's really good. I need to ride it more before I can really be converted, I guess, especially because how much they cost, alright? So we'll talk about that maybe a bit more in the future, but first impressions, me likey very much. Next thing was I wanted to put some fenders on this bike. I've tried several times now putting different fenders. I've spent actually quite a bit of money on fenders trying to find some that will fit this bike nicely, but nothing looks right. I don't really have any footage of the different ones just because they're just whatever. But I didn't like them, so I ended up going through some R-Savers. The main reason for the R-Savers, one, they're brilliant, there's nothing wrong with an R-Saver, but they're really easy to take on and off. So I don't really use fenders, as we know, we've talked about this many times. I quite like having a naked bike, and majority of the time if I'm going to go out cycling in the mud with this type of bike, I'm going to get covered in mud, and that's okay. Like, I'm not commuting on this build, this is my mountain bike, so an R-Saver made sense, and these ones are very good. Next thing is the spacers. I've got rid of the orange ones. This was always going to happen, but I don't think it ended up happening at the end of the last video about the stAyTB. But yes, we have the I Will Rust spacers that stAyr actually offer on their website. I don't know if they've got any in stock at the moment because they go quite quickly and they're all handmade. But it's had a bit of splash of water on it, and it is starting to rust, and it is currently the same orange as the headset, so it's very nice. I like it. I like a bit of rust, we know that very much, which we should do a proper crusty sticker again soon. On that note, I do have some new stickers. I redid my favourite bootleg sticker to date, the proper crusty Slayer rip-off, with a Save Old Bikes, Second Life Bikes sticker. This little pack is now available on the website, and you can buy it by heading to saveoldbikes.com. Oh, that was difficult to say. But if you'd like to pick up some stickers, saveoldbikes.com is the place to pick them. And these are the new ones that have just dropped today. And the very last thing that I've added to this bike so far, at least, is the Manav Basket that I had on I can't remember which build it was now. I think it might have been my Ultimate Commuter. That bike's not complete at the moment because I'm doing some other things with it. So it's been sat in the shed. So I saw it and I was like, I'm going to pop it on the stAyTB, and it is very nice. I think it fits really nicely. It looks good, and it's a sick basket. So it worked out really well. Long term, I'm not going to be using it on the stAyTB because I do want it back for another bike. So I still haven't quite worked out exactly the rack type of situation I want to do with the stAyTB. So that's something for the future. Yes, currently those are the things I've changed on it. And everything's running perfectly, except one big thing, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. We're going to go on to the group ride, and then at the end of the video I'm going to talk about the few things I'm going to change on the stAyTB in an upcoming stAyTB let's make this thing perfect video, something like that. Me and Marlon have been talking a bunch about doing a group ride recently, and things just kept getting away and we just never got around to it, but we finally got to it recently, and we teamed up with the guys over at Divine 559, which is a local 26er group, and we did a group ride from Marlon's shop out to Richmond Park. I'll be honest with you, wasn't expecting much from it. I had a really tough couple of weeks with my kids being sick constantly, I was sick, and then just lots of work, and I didn't actually shout out a lot about it, so none of us really did a lot of promoting, so we didn't know what was going to happen, and then we arrived at Marlon's shop, and then very slowly people just continued arriving until we were almost 70 strong. Marlon's convinced actually it was more like 100, and then slowly people dropped off, and then by the time we got to Richmond Park it was only about 70, which is nuts. But it was an awesome day. We also had these cool posters that Carl Millett, this is him here, go and check him out on Instagram, he put together for us, which was really, really cool. I like the picture of Marlon on his cargo bike. If you don't know about that Omnium, we built him an Omnium. I'll link that here as well. It's a very cool bike. But that's about as much as I have to say about the group ride, but I have put a little bit of montage of some of the footage I took. I took the 360 camera, so I got some cool shots, and let's go and check that out now.
People didn't get upset with me if I don't ask. What's your dog's name?
Oh, Yuri.
Yuri.
Yeah. Say hi, Yuri.
Hi, Yuri.
Wow. He likes to be on the camera.
Yeah.
And that was that. It was such a nice day. We got really lucky with the weather. It'd been a bit hit and miss the previous weeks and even straight away afterwards as well. So it was a sick day. Shout out to everybody who came. Like, it was, I mentioned this already, like, we didn't make too much noise about it. It was almost a last minute thing, and a ton of people turned up. It was so much fun, and I appreciate everybody who came. So much so, I am thinking next time I do a group ride, I may not give you that much advance notice, because it was crazy. There's so many people turned up. But yeah, awesome. Me and stAyTB are actually putting a second jumble on. It's going to be the 1st of December. It will be very similar to the last one, which will be lots of stalls where you can buy parts and stuff. You can bring stuff to make a stall and sell your things as well. There'll be food and drink, things like that, and we will be going for a group ride at the end again. It won't be anything too crazy, probably a little dip into Epping Forest and back again, but it will be dark because it will probably set off about 4 o'clock, maybe a little bit earlier. We're still working out exact time for the group ride, so make sure you bring lights. The poster's on the screen right now. If you live in London and you're available on the 1st of December, come and say hey. Right then, so the last thing I'm going to say before we end the video is there is some things I'm going to change on the stAyTB, and I want to get your opinion on it. The changes I want to do is going to be, I want to put a slightly different drivetrain on there. I want to change it from the friction to an actual shifter. Friction I love, but like, I'm just not getting along with the setup on this bike, so I feel like just putting something a little bit more rapid fire, just a bit so I can just change gear and whatever else. But I'm also thinking I might need some more retro parts on this bike. I love the middle burn cranks. I love the stem, the handlebars, everything kind of is good. But because of the way the bike looks, I just feel like it's missing some retroness. And maybe it's not retro, maybe it's just crusty. But I've said this before, but like, if you were going to build the stAyTB, what parts would you put on it? And you could be as specific as you like. Let me know down in the comments below. At the moment, I'm thinking I might actually change the crank out for a black one instead of a silver one. And I've got a really nice smashed to pieces Shimano LX crankset, which might look quite nice on there. But yeah, it's something I'm thinking about. I'm gonna tinker away at it over the next couple of weeks and I'll release a video for it. But before I get started, if you've got any suggestions, or like if you bought one of the stAyTBs, maybe you have bought one, let me know what you're thinking about doing with it, or if you would buy one, what would you do to it? You get what I'm trying to say. Let's talk about it down there. And that brings us to the end of another video. To give you an idea of what's coming up soon, I have a lot of, what can I say without saying too much? I've got some very cool builds, but with brands coming soon. So some cool brands are wanting to work with me with some parts and stuff. So they're coming up very soon. If you remember the Kona UTE or Minute, my ones, because it's a slightly shorter one, that I built ages ago. It's on the screen right now. I'm finishing that potentially next week. The video may come out a couple of days after it, but I'm finally putting it together. If you don't know much about it, essentially it's a long-tail cargo bike that I got to put my kids on, but then I ended up buying a massive big cargo bike, so I've not really needed it. My kids are getting a little bit older. We want to do some more fun things, so it's time we finish that build. So for the people that ask me every now and then, it's coming very soon. Yeah, we got loads of things going on. I don't want to tell you too much because I don't know which one I'm going to finish first. So if you like kind of bike builds and cycling content, you have found the right place, and you can press this button here to subscribe to the channel, absolutely free, and it helps me out a bunch. And if you cannot wait till next week, you could watch that one there. It's a particularly good one.